Good morning, everybody. Morning, 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 morning. Is hoping that you are doing well. Just trying to find another charger, if I can. Okay, all right. Yes, my friends. What a day of rejoicing that will be when we all see Jesus. We'll sing and shout of victory. Let us then be true and faithful, trusting, serving every day. Just one glance of Him, the doors of life repair. Greetings to all. Greetings, greetings, friends. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Greetings, 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 greetings. Good morning, everybody. It's 11:02 a.m. right here on News on the Go. Yes, our newest feature for the time. Not sure how long it's going to last. But once I'm on the go, we are going to be on the road. It is going to be on the road. I am here to let you know, folks, that God is good. He's faithful. And I just wanted to worship Him. He's the Lord of my life. And I'm hoping that He is the Lord of your life also. Greetings, friends. Please share the live. BBDD. She said the song will be stuck in her head. It's a good song. The Lord just placed it on my spirit. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. Amen. But I just wanted to come here to debunk something that Brother Anson said last night. And by the way, for those of you who said I should not have gone on his live, I was sitting there and I felt a little disturbed last night with the race baiting that he was doing. Now he's my friend. I've been warned, but with a lot of people saying, "Oh, this one is not your friend. That was not your friend." But I still have, my reservations and everything else. But Anson, we grew up in the same community and friends and everything else. But last night I was taken aback when Mr. Anson Maxwell, my friend, started race baiting, and it was so bad that for some reason my spirit got, like a ship on a rough ocean. My spirits, I start having this mixed feelings and, back and forth of emotions. And I'm like, how is this possible that in 2023, we as human beings are not careful when we are discussing race? Very insensitive, to tell you the truth. And I'm not here to disrespect him. I am here for enlightenment. So, I heard him going on with Shastner, and Shastner called us monkeys. And Shastner said that we St. Lucians are non-entities. And I sat and I listened, and my spirit started, because I'll tell you this, I'm not Mr. Shastner's spokesperson, but I can tell you that Mr. Shastner have never called anyone a monkey. Mr. Shastner is a professional. He's very sensitive when it comes to race. He understands the whole race discussion. He understands what he himself went through as a mixed St. Lucian. He understood what he went through as one who is light skinned and not like the normal black person when it comes to skin pigment. And so Mr. Shastner he's a professional. He understands that we as citizens need to be mindful, even as leaders, when we are discussing race. It should be done reverently. And so when I heard Mr. Anson accusing Mr. Shastner of being racist, and he was very loose on it, and the more I tried to pull him back to let him know, brother, you need to stop. This is very sensitive. This is dangerous. You know, you don't just go out there loosely and accused, anybody about racism. It is something that you got to be careful about. But Anson went on, yes, he's racist. He called us monkeys and he called us non-entities. So I'm like, but where did that happen? One, there was a video that was being circulated by an individual. We do not know who that individual is. I don't know who that person is, but a lot of UWPs started sharing and, trying to make it into a joke, a laughing matter. And so it have not been, or it did not come out from the United Workers' Party. One, we must establish that. Because why am I saying this? The United Workers' Party, PRO, they're not fully functional because they're heading into a convention to ratify their leadership. So you do not have that type of coordination as yet. So I know that it was not from the United Workers' Party. But when I saw it being circulated, I cried out against it. I spoke up against it because I saw where it was going. I knew that the attempt would be there to tie it around Mr. Shastner. I know that because I am very invested in this matter, highly invested. Why? Because I observed the racism during the campaign against Mr. Shastner about whites and he's not one of us and those things. So you got to be very sensitive when you're treading on that ground. So and then you have Mr. Philip Japet saying that I'm a little black boy. In other words, there is this race thing that was introduced to the campaign where the Labour Party started calling Mr. Shastner white man, don't love us, not one of us. And then on the other hand, you have the Labour Party popping back up again and saying, oh yeah, I'm the little black boy. He's a little white boy. Basically, I know the people more than him. I am familiar with the culture of the people. He don't understand our culture. I'm the little black boy. That is what you call race baiting. Very dangerous. And Reverend, I don't know. I got to get a stronger voice in condemning this kind of racist behavior in a black country. We got to find a way, and I will, by the grace of God, find a way. I'm praying about it to speak on it in details, an entire program to call it out. I have all the clips with racist statements in St. Lucia. I am going to speak on it because it is dangerous. I'll tell you it. I'm telling you, it is dangerous. It is dangerous and should not be tolerated in our society, period. Because we do not choose our race. I do not choose my race. I don't decide today I'm going to be black and tomorrow I'm going to be white. I don't decide where I'm going to be born tomorrow. If my family want to move to another country to work for 2 years or on a contract and they get pregnant there and I'm born there, that's not my fault. If my family wanted to, if my wife is pregnant and she wants to go to a safer country to have birth because she's high risk and she's not sure that she can get the care in the country, then she should be free and not be penalized for wanting to have birth to me in Martinique, where the medical is much better. That child is still a St. Lucian. That child is considered to be a St. Lucian. The mother went for medical. I go on vacation on a plane and the child comes prematurely, whatever it is. The child is born on the aircraft, born on the sea, born at an emergency on the airport, or in the foreign country. Are you telling me my child is not, or should not be considered a St. Lucian, and um, should be abused verbally as not being a St. Lucian? Now think about think about this argument. And the shameful thing is that many of us have our families and children in foreign countries, and the possibility is there that they can bring home a white man, a white woman, and say, "Mommy, I love him, I love her, and we will be getting married." You now have foreign white children, grandchildren, or mixed children. How would you feel? And that's the problem in our society. People don't put themselves in the feelings of others, if that's a word, really. But thank God I'm smart enough to make a word on the go. So the race baiting by Mr. Anson last night was dangerous. It was uncalled for. Mr. Shastner made a statement in yesterday's budget concerning a piece of land, prime land, that was sold by Mr. Richard Frederick, that he believes should have been in the state possession still and not be sold to a private person. So Mr. Shastner, in his debate, said that the person is a non-entity. In other words, and I listened to him, people don't listen. People pick out, the red meat that they want so that they can, do foolishness with it. And so Mr. Shastner said, based on the development in the area, that person who bought it would have been a known entity in the development there, in the government's interest, in the people's interest. So it is not a spot that you should just sell to anybody. It should be in state, in the state's inventory, not in a private person. Waterfront area you should be very careful when you are selling waterfront areas. When you talk about national security, then you would want to have your waterfront, either protected or in the government's hands as their property. Now, Mr. Shastner was saying in that area they were planning to put up a base, a maritime base, or maybe a national security base for the waterfront. Port security based to protect the waterfronts. But now it is in the possession of a private citizen who is a non-entity when it comes to border protection. And he's right, non-entity. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Non-entity. Not that he's calling her not a human being or she's a dog or anything. That's not what the man is saying. And those of us who look at the budget and you're looking for substance and not talking points, then you would understand where he was going with the discussion. You understood where he was going. And so for Answer to come out, Mr. Shastner never won. And I'm not here to defend Mr. Shastner. Well, I'm defending him. So I take that back. That's oxymoron. That's stupid. So, one, Mr. Shastner never called anyone a monkey. A matter of fact, Mr. Shastner condemned the video when he saw it. Strongly condemned it, outraged about it, was not happy about it. And if Mr. Shastner had the authority, heads would have rolled on that video. If his PR in the United Workers' Party came out with that clip, that person would have been sanctioned by the Honorable Alan Shastner. Would have been sanctioned. That's how mad he was with that video. And genuinely so. Just like me, I was outraged. I was mad about it. Even though some people say, oh, they did it to us, and why we can't do it. No, that's not the argument here. There are certain lines that are not drawn. People's mother, people's children, race, those are lines that you do not cross. But Mr. Anson crossed the line. and started race baiting. And what he did is that he tried to tie the race baiting around Mr. Shastner, but it could not have fit him. There is no proof, there is no evidence that Mr. Shastner called anyone a monkey. And two, there is no evidence that Mr. Shastner called the St. Lucian people in the context there non-entity. He did not, and we got to be real, folks, and that is sad. That is really sad and dangerous, and I just wanted to call it out. It is not right. We should not support that. We should condemn it strongly, like I did. I condemn it, and I called it out, and I asked him to stop, and he did stop. But he said, when I'm not on the air, when I'm not on the platform, he will continue. But he had to stop because I was very uncomfortable, because I understand the algorithms with Facebook one, and I understand how we should be treating a racial discussion. Yes, we got to be careful how we do it. Mr. Shastner is a St. Lucian. Mr. Shastner did not buy his citizenship by citizens, by investment. He did not buy passport through government system. Mr. Shastner's father contributed towards the development of St. Lucia. Most of those people who are talking, all they were doing was taking from St. Lucia. They were not given a cent, nothing for the development. If you look at most of these politicians, they either had a law firm to enrich themselves. They was not really representing the local person without money. No charitable pro bono job, most of them. Is big drug mafias and criminals. They were defending persons who were guilty as hell. They were defending. Some of them were in the accounting business, taking care of the rich and the famous. They would not do any taxes for any poor person free of charge pro bono. Most of them never contributed nothing. And what they're boasting that they've contributed, it is government money, the people's money, taxpayers' money. So when they say to you, oh, I build a hospital, I build a road, I build a library, it was not their money. They did not build it with their money. So don't let them pull anything on you like that. Mr. Shastner's father, Michael Shastner, contributed more to St. Lucia than if you put all those guys together in parliament. He contributed more to the development of the nation. More to the development. Michael Shastner must be respected. We experienced the cheapest set of food items under Michael Shastner. From Julian Supermarket when he took it over, to all his other supermarket chains in the past. And for us to be ungrateful to forget that even Mr. Anson benefited from Michael Shastner. Even Anson benefited from Michael Shastner, low food prices. His very family getting jobs from Michael Shastner, Mr. Alan Shastner's father. Most St. Lucians benefited from Michael Shastner's contribution to St. Lucia development. We must never be ungrateful. We must never forget the contribution of persons in our society. That is a mistake that we will regret many eons in the future. So for this whole hatred towards Michael Shastner, and again, I want to do an entire documentary on Michael Shastner. Is he a perfect man? I wouldn't think so, because I am not. But it is sad. We should discourage it. And I don't know what else to say. I honestly don't know what else to say on such a matter, but I will ask the people of St. Lucia to cool out on this race baiting thing. It's dangerous. It will only come back to embarrass us because Mr. Anson and others, they most of them they get some of their contracts, their businesses from the white man, from the Jews, from the Indians here in the United States. Yes, you work for yourself, but you work for people. Don't mind people tell you, most of us say we work for ourselves, but you work for people. You work with people. You work for people. You don't pay yourself. People pay you to do something for them. So when they pay you, you work for them. I saw one person enjoying the conversation and applauded him and supported him. When I looked on their profile, guess what? They're in the group of a whole set of white people taking pictures with a big smile. So even for those of us in foreign land, we got to be careful with our words. We got to be careful with our words. And we got to be real careful, I'm telling you. We got to be careful. The other thing that I want to bring to your attention, and I suspect I will have to highlight it more on Monday, God's willing, is that the budget, most of you are not going into the budget, you're not digging into it, and you're just looking at the mépris. All those mépris and fights you see in the budget is distraction. If you look carefully at the budget, the 2023-24 budget, folks, if you look carefully at it, listen to me, what you will see is a government, and I pull the camera closer to me, it's a government, folks. Hear me out. What you see is a government who had the ability to reduce on gas prices, reduce on food items, ease the squeeze for the normal, regular solution. And they did not. They played politics. They wanted to say, well, we are the best. We saved more money and we had a surplus. But you, the people, that took it from you to present as they having a surplus. We were able to bring in more revenues than the other government and those kind of stuff. But you are the ones who are paying for it. You are the ones who paid $17 and are still paying $17 a gallon of gas and diesel. When the Alan Shastner administration had a cap of $13 and something cents on gas. You understand what I'm saying? So what I started doing now, I started looking at the previous budget under Alan Shastner, and I'm looking now at the new budget proposed by this government. And I'm saying to you that there's a problem. There is a big problem. And instead of us discussing the problems, highlighting them, we are distracting ourselves with racism. We're distracting ourselves with mépris in the house. And you see how these guys, instead of discussing substance, you see how these guys are cussing off Mr. Shastner, they're cussing off. All the time, they repeat the very same thing over and over again. You see that? The guys are repeating the very same thing over and over again. Very same story. Nothing new for the past few years. They in office. Same talking points, same cussing out story. So they believe that if they continue saying it, repeating it, that it will resonate with the people. But the people, what will resonate with the people, it is basically what's in their pocket, what's in their pockets. Kitchen table discussions, not mépris. Mépris is by the fisheries or by the bay or by the road. You sit down giving your friends mépris. You're there giving yourself jokes and all kind of thing by the road like we used to do as young boys. Let no panier pour faire. Nous ka bay blague. Boshimea. And we're talking about things that happened 10 years ago, giving each other mape, we all kind of stuff just to have fun and laughter. Huh? That's what is happening in the House. While you, the citizens, go through hardship. And I dare to ask some of you, how many of you on Monday can go to the Castries market and spend $1,000 in order to get a balanced meal? How many of you? How many of you can go to Castries 7 days a week on a bus? How many of you can afford to buy a tank of gas? How many of you are rationing how you cook, how you boil water, how you use your gas? How many of you are looking at your electricity and you're taking off lights and you're unplugging stuff? How many of you are in arrears with Wasco, in arrears with Lucilec? How many of you? How many of you are asking people for support? Rightfully so, because you really can't. And it's okay to ask. How many of you go to bed with uncertainty, not knowing how you're going to get by? How many of you? And if you can identify with those questions, my question to you is, what does the debate in the House and cussing and fighting have to do with those issues that you are experiencing right now? What all these accusations against Mr. Shastner has to do right now? Now, these guys, they don't understand the impact of this budget and the debate that they're having. It's deep, it's revealing, and it has given us ammunition enough for the rest of the 2 years that they're in office. Because one, they went into office and they accused the United Workers' Party of not leaving any money at all. They accused the United Workers' Party of not having a plan. They accused the Alan Shastner's administration as being a demolition crew. But I would submit to Mr. Stephen King that he was part of the demolition crew and he was demolishing the finance of the state because he was not working, he was conspiring all the years for his own benefit, campaign's benefit, and he did not produce much work for taxpayers' money that he received. So he, Mr. Stephen King, does not represent what is good and acceptable in our society. If that's how you encourage other workers, young workers, to go to people's work and pretend that they're working just because they want the job, don't perform 100%, hide away in corners, go to meetings but your heart are not there, hold up projects, road projects, infrastructure projects, because you want to make the administration look bad. Conspire to throw the administration under the bus while being paid by taxpayers, and you saying to me that that is a good outlook, that is something that we should praise. You so were part of the demolition crew. You were part, if you were accusing your former administration that you were part of, you were being paid not as an independent. Because what you could have done, Mr. Stevenson King, if you were not comfortable in government, all you had to do was to switch and declare yourself an independent candidate right there in the House. You didn't have to tell Mr. Shastner anything. All you had to do was go one day in the House and say to the Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I am officially switching to an independent candidacy. Then right there you can say to Mr. Shastner, I'm no longer going to hold that portfolio. I am giving it up because I am no longer with your party. But what you did, sir, is that you were thinking about your future, not the future of our children, not the future of the people of St. Lucia. You were thinking of you, sir, continuing in office, winning an election, and getting a job with the incoming party. That's what it is. That's what it is. But you took taxpayers' money while not working, while pretending that you're working. And if any one of us go on anybody's job and try that, you, sir, will cry shame on us. You, Mr. Stevens the King, you had persons working at your house, building your swimming pool, building additions to your house. If they went on your job and pretend that they were working, you, sir, would have fired them. You, sir, would cry shame on them. You would call them thief, you would voler, you would call them a lot of stuff. Yes. You would have fired those persons who were working at your home. But you did that to the government. You demolished taxpayers' money. You demolished it. You were part of the demolition crew that you complained about. So we're not even going to take you on, because you're not an authority on what you're speaking about. But in the budget, sir, my people, you would discover that all along the government was saying to you that we have no money in the coffers. We didn't find money. These guys had millions of dollars at their disposal. When they said to you that we don't have money for the roads, we had no money for the roads, we have no money at all, now they are reporting that they had surplus. Folks, we got to expose these lies and deceit. While you were catching your royal tail at the supermarkets, under the Labour Party government, folks, you guys had to pay more for bus fees. While all these guys had to do was to ease the squeeze on gas. Keep it at $13. And they could have. The government didn't lose anything. Government didn't lose nothing. They didn't lose not a cent. They took the monies from you. Our fishermen, how many of you are paying more for fish? Because our fishermen had to increase the price of fish because they had to pay more for gas. When the government promised them that we will remove the taxes on fuel for fishermen. What happened? You, the fishermen, you folks in Dennery, you fishermen in Viewport, Castries and Viewport, paid more, and you cried out for help. And the government listened to your cry. And the government refused to lower the prices on you guys. Instead, inflicted more pain on the people of St. Lucia. That is the subject for us to discuss. You are being thrown off of the game. All what you're seeing there, brethren, it is distraction to what took place in our government. So I would say that if you want to know how successful your government has been, check your pockets, check your gas tank, check the supermarket, check the fishermen, and you will understand that you were henpecked and bamboozled. So all the time you see the fight with the speaker, Mr. Shastner, fight with Richard and Alan Shastner, fight with Philip, JP, and the others, all the fights you were seeing were distraction. While they were distracting you, the mirage that they set up to distract you, these guys were pickpocketing you, the people of St. Lucia, and you fell for it. I know what they're going to come for me and tell, oh, you're supposed to be a Christian and a preacher and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? I heard someone who said to me, oh, as Christians, you're not supposed to speak about social issues. You know what the person is saying now? They put all kind of quotations to me. You can't serve two masters at the same time. I serve one master, and that is the Lord Jesus Christ. You know what they said? What they're doing now? Oh, one day my child is going to be a senator in the house. My child is going to be a senator. That's a Christian now, you know. All of a sudden, her child is going to be a senator. But for me, as a big man, a man with a conscience, a man who has a burden for the underdog and the marginalized in our society, the poor, all of a sudden, guess what? I can't speak, but now they want their children and their family to be senators. And all of a sudden, they're talking about Trump indictment and politics. Oh, yes. So let me tell you something. And that's why I say to you, you have your convictions and you stick to it. Don't let be unmovable and ever abounding in what you believe in. But I am saying to you folks, you, the people of St. Lucia, you got pickpocketed. You got pickpocketed. Brethren, and I'm going to take you through all their debates because they said to you, we have no money, we found no money. We don't see anything that the United Workers Party did with the money. Alan Shastner took all the money and he gave it to his brother-in-law to buy vaccines. If we had those monies, we could have provided fields and boots for the footballers. If we had that money, we could have given it to our young people. If we had the vaccine money, we could have buy more of this and we could have buy medicines. You heard them yourselves. But now we are finding out that all along these guys had millions of dollars catching dust. Millions of dollars. And Mr. Shastner knew that, you know, very smart guy, very powerful guy, smart. Mr. Shastner would sit there and wait for the budget because Mr. Shastner is saying, look, you guys got to come with the truth. You yourself will correct yourself. And that's why I have no fear for him. He, Mr. Shastner, sat there and waited for this moment. And he said, look, you guys will come with the truth. I will be right here. And so they did. So they did. But the many of the viewers, all they're doing on the government website, live program, house sitting, is cuss each other off. If you look at it carefully, they can't pay their rent, they can't buy food, they can't buy gas, but they're under the live cussing each other off. Cussing up the Flabo, cussing up this one. You see them under the live? Fake pastor, Pastor Quem, all kind of, and very funny indeed. But Pastor Quem can eat. Very funny indeed. I can put gas. Gas is $3 something for me. It takes me $40 now to fill my tank. It used to be $60 during the crisis. Now it's much cheaper. I can drive everywhere now. Gas cheap. But those of you who are cussing off others, how is it for you at the kitchen table? Can you go to the hospital and get medical? Come on, let's talk. Come on, let's talk. Don't run. Don't be afraid. Those of you who come for the gossip to find the latest gossip so that you can call somebody and say, you hear what he say? You hear what he say? Yes, yes, do that. But are you eating properly? Do you have a job? Or is it only job for the boys? Imagine the Prime Minister's office, the budget increased by, I believe, a few $1 million. His budget, more government hiring, friends and families. Reverend, you got to break that thing down. Then you would realize how bad it is. I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom. I am saying to you, friends, that you have been bamboozled. Now, back to the idea that the government has no money. There's no money, no money. Oh, yeah, the Prime Minister, Shastner left everything empty. No money. He wasted money. No money at all. Nothing, nothing. Oh, nothing at all. Mr. Pear is a hero. He's a hero. We have not borrowed. You remember the Speaker of the House? This government have not borrowed a cent. Now, wait a minute. If you're boasting your government did not borrow a cent, it means that Mr. Shastner did well. It means that he left a whole set of money for you guys to manage because you did not borrow, you said. Then, brethren, what we saw was borrowing after borrowing after borrowing after borrowing after borrowing. We saw borrowing even for budgetary support, borrowing to pay the staff, borrowing to pay contracts that were not paid for as yet. We saw a barrage of borrowing. But then we are hearing that there was enough money sitting there to ease the squeeze on gas for the fishermen and for bus drivers and for the regular commuters on the island. There is enough in this budget to cause you people to be outraged. There's enough in this budget to cause you people to have great concern about the management of this government. But all I can say to you, friends, you, St. Lucian, have been caught. You have been have. Yes, you've been humpecked, himpecked, and wimpecked. And I say to you, check your pockets. I am sure you had $100 there, but now it is all gone in gas and food. And today's Friday. Some of you like macaroni and cheese, baked chicken, and everything else, but you can't. Not this weekend. No. But guess what? They're announcing party for the honorable member of Miku, Jeremiah. There's party for his birthday, and there's excitement over there, and party there, and yum, yum, yum. But what are you going to eat? What are you going to eat this weekend? Well, you're going to ask your local politician for some white wine and some steak, lobster. What are you going to get this weekend? I'll tell you what you're going to get. You're going to get high gas price, high electricity bill, high cooking gas bill, high electricity bill, and high water bill. That's what you're going to get. You have been halved. St. Lucians. That's what you're going to have. Yes. And guess what? If you are connected to the government and you are friends, family, and colleagues, you will do well. Because I am sure by now you have a contract, a grant, you have some hookup somewhere. Yeah. So you're good. So you can come on Facebook and cuss everybody else, the hacks. You can come cuss. Why? Because you get something from the increase. You get something, you benefit. But for the regular person who has no representation, for the normal person who are waiting for United Workers' Party to get together at a convention. Until then, they will have nothing. And God forbid that one of their families die, they would have to beg. They would have to go and put up payment plan that they cannot afford to bury their deads. And that's the reality. If you want to understand where your country financially, where you are financially, check your pockets and check your kitchen cabinets. If what you see there are more foreign items from barrels that your family sent, then there's a problem. Yes, there's a problem. So don't be distracted. And that's why I say to you, friends, don't be distracted. Stay on the budget. Watch what is happening. And some of you like to spread a lot of rumors. You need to be careful with that. When I discuss here, I am pure, I am genuine in what I discuss. When I say to you, stay focused. Whatever will be, but stay focused. Then you say things that you should not be saying. You accuse me of a lot of things, being this and that, not being sensitive to what is happening. No, that's not the case. For me, I am telling you, there is a bigger problem. And the bigger problem is those who are poor. Look, we have our friend our Flabo friend, they broke into her home and took everything. We are still struggling to get supplies for her. We're still struggling to get persons on the GoFundMe account. Still struggling. That's a grassroots woman. That's a main supporter. That's why I say stay focused, friends. Stay as focused as you can. Don't allow anything to pass your eyes in the budget. If you don't understand it, ask somebody to break it down for you. And that's why I wish I can get some of these guys to come on the show and break down the budget. Talk to the people. We have an audience. We have supporters there who need information. And I try to break it down in broken English as much as I can. I try to break it down so everybody can understand. The educated and not so educated, those who can't read, those who can't understand Creole. I try to break it down as much as I can. That's why our platform is there. To educate and to inform. So I beg again for those powers that be to come on board. Don't take us for granted. We are voters. Listen to me, my stats are over 1 million viewers. We have voters under our platform who watches this program and they're waiting for the elections. You got to inform them. You got to get on the platform. Don't take us for granted. Don't, please, I beg you, don't make that mistake. Please don't do it, because the people of St. Lucia cannot go through many more years of the fights that they are seeing in Parliament. The people of St. Lucia cannot take any more of the lies and deceit. The people of St. Lucia cannot take more of high electricity bill, high gas bills. The people of St. Lucia cannot take any more. And that's why I beg you again to stay focused. Do not be distracted. And please, I beg you, don't go on any personal attacks. I want you to attack the issues. There are situations that you will have to quickly go and debunk what is being said. But let us, like an eagle, focus on our poor families who are catching hell just to make it through a day. And there are many. I cannot show you requests. I cannot show you some of these private communications. But there are many families who are at the brink. Please, I beg you, don't be distracted. And I also want to say to you that this Me being on this platform is not about me. Forget about me. Forget about the spokesperson here and focus on our people who needs the help. Brethren, please, I have flaws. Forget about my flaws. And I beg you to, in the interests of our vulnerable people, those in our society, our teenage pregnant girls, our boys who are being abused sexually, even men who are being abused in marriage, and women who are being abused in marriage, women who are being abused by politicians, politicians who are being abused by the ruling party. Please, I beg you, forget about this spokesman. It's not about me. Some of you support people and not the discussion, the debate, the substance. And if you should go after me, friends, you're going after a man who is defective, subject to make a lot of errors. So please take your eyes off of me and focus on the substance of our discussions. And so we look forward to a big show, a beautiful show on Monday. We will try to get into the budget. I don't know who I can get, for God's sake. I am at my wit's end. I do not know who I can get to assist us in breaking this budget down, where time would not be of any substance, where we don't care about time. We just want to get that budget broken down where the poor people can understand what's in it for them. And I plead with those who have powers and contacts. Please get off of your high horse. Get off of whatever you're on. And don't neglect those ordinary people who can get you back into leadership. So, folks, I'm going to go now. Today's Friday. I have to cook for a special program tomorrow at the conference office here in Queens, so that I can get some vegetarian meat. So, blessings to you folks. Remember, we love you. We are one family. We are on the same train. We have the same vision for the country. And let's stay focused, friends. Don't be distracted with race and all these things. It is of no consequence to our pockets. None at all. All right? So we have a black man in power, and, it is what it is. So let's get out of this race baiting thing and let's get back to work. So, folks, you have just been in tune to News on the Go. News on the Go, a new feature, and it's going to get even better, because we're going to be on the go in St. Lucia, from the St. Jude Hospital, the airport, the Boys Training Center, government offices, supermarkets. We are going to be in every corner on the go. So you got to be excited about it. If you have not subscribed to Caribbean American News, both on Facebook and on YouTube, you are going to miss out on I'm not going to give you dates, but very soon you will see us in St. Lucia, different areas, with families, meeting families, the fishermen, on the sea. We're going to be in every hole. So subscribe quickly so that you can get those notifications. Like and follow. Yes, like and follow. And so we're going to have fun as we listen to the people on the ground. We're going to hear the people themselves on the ground. There are times you will hear the folks cussing me off, Labour Party people cussing me off, people talking their mind. That's what is going to be open. Amen. So we're going to be all in every hole on the island. We're going to get down to work now. We're not going to listen to the news, who say what say what. We are going to the people, from house to house, community to community, businesses to businesses, government institutions to government institutions. Even in the banks we're going, because some of the banks are dealing with our retirees in a very bad way. We are going everywhere. Security companies, we are going on the road in HD right there in St. Lucia. So like, subscribe, and follow my friends as we take you into St. Lucia in the next few days ahead of us. All right. So blessings, and don't forget, subscribe, like, follow the platform. Many of you are following my personal page, but you must follow Caribbean American News Network, and also you got to follow both the Facebook and YouTube. All right, so that you can get the notifications and you can enjoy the ride, see the excitement. We'll take you in live HD around. Yes, my friends, you would see communities, you will see persons that you have known before. Those of you who are not able to travel back to the country, we're going to take you in living colors. If there's any communities you would want us to go into, any situations you want us to look in, I'm going to ask you to send those private messages to me on Messenger or WhatsApp. WhatsApp me and let me know where you want me to go in, what community, what situation, um, you know, let me know so we will go in those areas. I look forward to hearing from you folks. So blessings and love you all. Maranatha. Jesus is coming soon indeed. Blessings, folks. Love you all.